that. Get the training. So I didn't have a voice. I used to stammer. I went to learn from the experts. I don't know so much about MC, but I know a lot about public speaking. I've talked about things you did before, things you will do, but we say that your presence, we talked about that, how you dress. Energy is very important. Energy can be learned. Your voice modulation is what Ben will teach in school. When you pause to emphasize, and when you raise your voice to get people to pay attention. Time management is very key. Sometimes you are told that we have 10 minutes. You should do everything within that time. Another important thing, eye contact, your eyes. I believe I've looked into everybody's eyes yet today. It gets them drawn in. Very important. Their voice training classes you can take. I would like to end on this note. Character. Character is something we need to imbibe as ladies. Competence. As you have said, people were competent. They didn't call them again because they are not team players. Emotional intelligence, team management, when to step low, to conquer, not to show your degrees. Wisdom is profitable to direct. You can't say you know everything. There's always something to learn. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for her. I'm sure she taught you a lot. Now, one of the things you can learn and only learn from a public speaker as an MC is that when you introduce someone, you wait for them. You saw that she didn't leave. She waited. Leave your stage. If it means staying close by, away from your stage. It's your podium. Make sure you can be sure. You need to adjust. If you're a tall person and the person coming after you, you may need to help them adjust the mic to their speaking level so you can get it. We actually saved. I have the. How do I do this now? I'm really not talking, but there are 3 people who must talk, and there's something we do. Except of course, if I go to spend the money, we have 20,000 naira to give to one of the MCs who will win our competition, and that competition is actually just do an opening statement. Have we done it? Have you prepared it? Have you? Yes. Well, are there people who want to compete? Yes. Okay, they are not competitors. Yeah. They're competitors. I thought they were no competitors, so we just. How much did I say? 5,000? So we'll just take numbers. Just raise your hand so we can take numbers. Let's be sure. Don't do it because of the money. So that we are not showing you the video next time and you say, Kai, was this me? Sometimes the competition does not end at round 1. Because they may go to another thing. I'm just giving you a simple idea so you know. And they will video it too. Hello. But these people are too many for this competition. No, we'll do it at the end, but I just want to be sure that I know people because it's possible there may not be people who want to compete. What is important? All right. So what we will take, we will do it. We'll do it. There's a session that's supposed to happen where I'm supposed to be on the hot seat and the students will ask. We're supposed to leave this place at 3 o'clock. We agreed and we don't want you to stay beyond 3. We didn't start on time, but we will finish on time. We'll finish at 3. How we'll manage that time, we still have, I will beg my Secretary General, can I allow Madam Laurie to just, even if it's 5 minutes, I know you have to leave. But she's been here, Madam Laurie, I don't know. You said?
Thank you.
No, this woman need to leave. I begged her from another function. And her class is a practical class for MCs. It's a practical. I wanted her to come early, but they held her in one interview and held her. Her session is a practical session. I've worked with her as MC. She will bite herself if she makes one mistake. I said, Madam, enjoy this mistake. Let's go on. She said, no, I didn't like it. I said, no, leave it. If you have made a mistake, it's done. It's passed. Even if it's on live TV, don't pass. They don't watch and pass. Just good because the fear of making mistakes is that it makes you make more mistakes. So please, I know she will do it as practical and will enjoy it. And Madam Ashley, please, I don't know. Allow her to just speak so that she can go. Thank you. Thank you very much. Please put your hands together for her. My Oga at the top as she comes up to speak to us quickly. She'll do all the things, very practical things that MCs want.
Okay. Thank you so much, our convener, Mr. Ben. We call him. Been reached to be one of the speakers prior to yesterday, and suddenly she called me in the evening asking me to represent her here. So, like Madam Ikalon said, that we wear many hats, right? So I will be wearing the hat, not just myself as the Secretary General of Abuja Event Compass, but also as Madam Lara Omoewe Wags. So I'm sure we're going to enjoy today's session, and I want to commend all the speakers for doing justice to the topic. But before then, my topic is going to be on accelerate action, own your voice, know your worth. So to that, I would start with whispering something to you. You will, the same thing I just said to you, you will say to her, she would say to her, let's just see how communication takes place. And if the same thing I told you would come back to me the same.
It's too long. It's too long. Remember everything.
Because as MC, you are the bearer of the information, and sometimes the information are not as simple as you think. So how do you make sure that in the process of encoding it's not distorted? It's very important. So let's do this activity quickly. So we just have it for this front row, please, so we can save time. Can I have the paper? Oh, fantastic. Thank you so much.
Lord. Lord. It's probably shorter.
It's supposed to be a whisper. Okay, so what did you hear? Let's just get, we might not be able to get, we might not be able to get to, thank you so much. So what did she say?
I didn't get the words. Communication is what is being said.
Please, that's the essence of the exercise.
And communication is what is being heard and what is being said. I didn't hear you tell me no.
Thank you so much. Do you know the importance of this? This was exactly what I told her. Communication is hearing what isn't being said and saying what should be heard. Now, this is what happens as an MC when you assume that your audience understands what you have said. Knowing your worth. Who are you? We have two water bottles here. This smaller one, when you look at it, there is no brand on it, but you can identify it, true or false. So what brand is this? Nestle. What did you call it? Nestle. Am I hearing Nestle? Thank you. What brand is this? Do you know why you were able to remember this? Pardon? Thank you. Thank you. Someone said the shape. If you have 10 bottled water, you would have this stand out because it's unique. You look at Ever Water, it somehow looks like this. You look at Aquafina, the same height. But have you wondered why Nestle remains this size? Know your worth. It's not just about the size. It's about uniqueness. Before value comes in, uniqueness is very important. As an MC, do not speak a certain way because Ben 200 speaks that way. Some are fast speakers, some are slow speakers, some are energetic like myself. And that's where the name Prissy Vibes comes from. I host corporate events, or uniquely, because I have activities, engaging activities that you somehow see in weddings and birthdays. But then I make them intellectually demanding activities. Something that gets you thinking critically, but then having fun as well. So that is my unique strength. Ways to discover your unique strength. in order for you to be able to ascertain your worth. Number one, your education. You may want to write them down, because after this session, you would need to identify and spell out your worth using these 4 factors. The first is education. What is education? It's not just your BSc or your doctorate or your master's, but also the informal education. How many books have you read? If I ask, I've read a book in the past 1 week, raise your hand. I've read a book in the past 1 month, raise your hand. I've read any book. You learn from everything. Fiction, communication, you learn from everything. You see, as much as learning is intentional, the most learning that sticks, that consolidates, is the unintentional learning. That thing she just said to you, it could just be the way she sat and you liked it. You got interested in it, it just got into your head. And you find yourself sitting that certain way. Could be the way she carries herself. Now the second, after education, is your experience. Do not play down on those tiny wins. You see that church gathering and they ask you to speak. That's an experience, that's a portfolio. The same way you spoke once, someone said, perhaps I'm a speaker at, I don't want to use a church that we know. Okay, I'm a speaker at the Christian Dominion Church. You spoke once. Another person that's spoken perhaps severally comes out and say, I'm a speaker at the Gospel Dominion Church. Are both of you speakers?
Yes.
Did both of you have the same experience with the audience? Now, when you're waiting until you become a regular speaker at that place, before you recognize that you've gained an experience, is what is affecting the worth or the value that you place on yourself. The third, exposure. Call it the 4 E's. The third is exposure. What are you exposed to? When Madame Ikalon was speaking, she talked about how she lost her voice. We might have 5 persons in the room with that same challenge, but the exposure is different. And her ability to tell her story uniquely gives us a different experience. I remember last year, 2 years ago, I was reached out to anchor. Is a tornado, being panel moderator and also a speaker is another ballgame. I don't know why I was able to handle that. Like she said, it was a life experience. I'm a woman. And not just because I'm a woman. The topic that is to be discussed, corporate well-being of a woman, is something that I have lived every day of my life. So if you wake me up and say, Priscilla, tell me about this, of course you know I will do justice to that. So never downplay your little experiences and what life, I don't want to use God for some who are, so, and what life has thrown at you. The first is the second, the third, and the fourth, which is the last factor, expertise. Yes, I am married, but trust me, if you and do that those whom are no longer together did not do. But there are people you don't even know how to power up your computer. And they say, I need an MC on a tech event. And you're taking the job. It's not all food that is for the stomach. So it's not all jobs that you should take in order to keep your worth. Learn to say to whatever job you're not, because you're going to cancel the ones that you've had. So looking at the 4 E's, we have the education, we have what else?
Experience.
The third, fourth, thank you. I promised Mr. Ben 200, I'm only going to spend 50. Now, if you have these 4 things, you've been able to carve what you call your unique selling point. How do you now communicate it? How do you communicate it? Now, if we're to have an elevator pitch, because no matter how talented you are, if you're not able to explain to me, I would never know that you're that talented. So how do you tell me who you are? That's the essence of the activity we just had. In a bid to please your audience, oftentimes, we over-impress them with ambiguous, huge profile, very complex vocabularies. What if all that person just wants to know is that I'm a communication educator? Now, she mentioned the 5 W's and H. And when she was saying that, I said, Dr. Ikalon, did you peep into my, my note? Okay, so for the 5 W's and H, as we all know, well, I know some of us are not journalists, but people who are passionate about public speaking. So they are who, what, where, when, why, and how. Now the who is your name. I often see people say, my name is, especially when it's an interpersonal communication. Not bad, don't get me wrong. However, the context of the introduction is where you may have to reconsider introducing yourself like a third party. I am already in front of you. There is no medium, it's not like you're on TV or on radio, that the channel of communication might be a hindrance to, oh, someone looking, okay, who is that person? You're not saying my name is. when I am in front of you, we're talking, I expect you to say, I am. Secondly, are we together? Yes. Are we together? So, same case, isn't it? Great. The second thing you might need to consider, the first is, I am your name, that's the who. What do you do? What? That's the second one. You might need this to restructure your elevator pitch, mastered, so that in 30 seconds to 2 minutes, you're able to say something captivating about who you are and what you have to offer. The first is what? The first is what? The second? What? This, where? Now you're telling me I am, okay, Priscilla. What I do, I'm a communication educator. Where have I practiced this communication educator? Or am I doing this in Essential? Because when you go to social media, the profile is massive. You would see people say they are thought leader. And the only leadership they've ever had is the knock they gave their younger brother. So you need to state where a verifiable source or place that people can go to be sure that you are who and what that you have claimed you are. The first is what? Who. The second? What. The next? Where. Then the next is what? When. People like consistency. How long have you been practicing this thing? Please do not over-exaggerate it. Because if the person does due diligence, I'm a perfectionist. So when I make an error, I beat myself for it a lot. The same way, in order to avoid that, I'm a bit meticulous. So I could go as far as checking not just the social media, but calling that place that you claimed you had worked. Now, if your client is someone like me, the person goes to confirm the data that you had presented, and it's not there. Can you see that you've affected your integrity? I'll be real quick. The first is what? Who. The second? What. The third? Where. The fourth? When. And the next is why. Why should I be even interested in petrol? Why should I be interested in knowing you? What can you do for me? You know, as MCs, most of the people we deal with are high-profile clients. So they do not want to jeopardize their integrity. So they won't even know what you have to offer. So that's where the why comes in. That's where you propose what you can offer them using your years of experience, who you are, what you have done, and also the duration. And the last and very interesting one is how. You've told me this amazing profile and resume. How would you now do it? Practical example. And that is why you have to know a little about everything, because you never can tell where you meet your client. So that way, when they engage you, you'd have something meaningful that would captivate their audience or attention. At this junction, I want to ask Mr. Convener, have I done justice? Amazing co-MCs, have I done justice to the topic? Thank you very much. It's always a delight to be with you. Thank you, sir.
Please put your hands together for her. Thank you so much. I'm really delighted that you did that and very straight to the point. Yeah, we are rushing our classes. We don't usually rush them. We take them deeper. But this is a master class, so we give you a little bit of everything. I'm sure we are learning.
Yes, sir.
I can't thank our speakers enough. We'll do the two quick things. I'll bring Madam Nori. I'll bring my sister BTO, and then we'll do our competition. Is that fair? Is that okay? Please put your hands together for me. Please clap for her. Let me warn you that she's not an MC. I told you before that she does. She's CEO Part of Africa. She's been helping young girls to survive where there's no water, where there's no fire. So she's the big person.
Thank you very much. I must confess, I've heard and learned so much. Like I usually say, everything worked together for my good.
Yeah.
I needed a lot of information I got here. As a person in the development space, I usually have to handle the mic, sensitize, advocate, and amplify my voice. I mean, I have seen my mistakes played out, and I now know why I eventually do not get my message across sometimes. My name is Ashley Laurie. I'm the founder of Part of Africa. Part of Africa is a menstrual sensitization initiative. We've been existing for 7 years. And I would say I'm an expert when it comes to menstrual hygiene and sanitation, especially for the girl and the women in our community. Now, this whole initiative was vetted out of experience. And I think I'm being too careful because I'm trying to work on what I have learned. It was vetted out of experience. When I was 9, I started my menstruation at 9. Very young with 5 brothers. And of course, I didn't know what it was. I only ran to mommy to say I saw blood in my panties. And the only thing she did was to ask me, who touched you? Obviously, she was scared. And she beat me to the hospital. Because she wanted me to spill it out. And when we got to the hospital, it was the doctor who said she's on her period. Now, coming from a mother who started her menstruation at 18, and a child twice the age, same DNA. She could say, if they touch you, you'll be pregnant. Those are wrong information. It's not totally wrong because it kind of helped me. I got really jittery, I got very scared, and I would cry, and I'm pregnant. Until my elder brother told me what it is and the touch my mother was talking about. Now, when my mom did, when my brother did, the only thing he could do for me was to give me a lump, I'll call it a lump of tissue paper as menstrual pad. You and I know that those kind of things goes to the back or to the front, or sometimes it cuts off and falls off. So to me, going to school during is a no-no for me because I do not want to be embarrassed. This was what drove my intention to want to end period poverty when I found the niche with the United Nations 6 SDG goals that has to do with sustainable water, hygiene, and sanitation. And I must confess that it has not been an easy one for me. I came into this hall to speak on hygiene. Now, he gave me, Mr. Ben 200 gave me a topic. Said you can be an MC during period. So I want to crown it around being confident and observing your hygiene when you are MCing. The truth of the matter is when we are on our period, we have mood swings. Most of us do not take it seriously. Now, I call menstrual hygiene and dignity an intergenerational process because it's from a girl at 8 years into a woman close to 40 or 45. It means she's pre-menopausal. It means she's having the hot flashes. She's also having mood swings. This can affect you when you're on stage. So I'm going to speak on basic hygiene and menstrual hygiene. I just want to correct the note because I have been in 2 rooms where MCs do not sound well. As much as you want to dress and look the part and speak the English, I've researched everything. I think the contact I want to have with you is a good smell. And I think the contact I also want to have with you is when you open your mouth. I do not perceive anything. Appreciated it when we walked in, they gave all of us this stick of sweet or wrap of sweet, knowing that you'll be sitting for long and probably you'll be shocked a while, meaning you might not be saying anything and you might just want to network. Now, in a situation where you have killed it on stage and you've met someone you would want to network with and you smell like literally, some people think menstruation smell, not knowing that it is how long you have worn your menstrual pads that makes it smell. But menstruation ought not to smell. So if you are standing in an event for a very long time, you should to mindfully excuse yourself to check on yourself. At least, if they do not recognize, let them recognize that woman that smells really good. You get a lot of hugs when you come in, and people just want to approach you because you smell good, because you might have all the looks, you have done your research and given your words, and that could have just been a turn off. So to me, we have to be mindful of our hygiene, menstrual hygiene, not to change our cycle from 4 to 6 hours. Understand there are different managing your menstrual hygiene periods. Understanding that menstruation is not a curse. It is a natural phenomenon. It is intergenerational. We carry it with pride because we believe that everybody is a well-calculated 28 days of womanhood. With that process, I don't think the men or even us will be around to give a speech or be an MC. So it is one line in our lives as a woman that we need to take seriously and not overlook. Mr. Ben has said it, I am not an MC. This is my field. Passion drove me here. And for any time, sleeping, waking up, I will speak on menstruation because I have lived menstruation. I have married the man that covered my stain in secondary school. I have 4 children and just a girl. I'm scared she's going to menstruate soon. I'm still menstruating. I'm going through my phases now and I'm beginning to see some symptoms. So it has just been passion for me. So I'm going to hold on to the fact that you will speak eloquently, freely, if you're passionate about talking. If you know what you're talking about, like, not read on it, because sometimes you get a call and you're not prepared. You get a call and you can't do your research the way you ought to have. But it is good to do your research. But I would want to say that you create your niche on something that you're passionate of. And for me, I would say I've learned so much today. But if there's one way I want to accelerate action, words, is that be that woman in the room that nods her head when another woman is holding the mic. It gives confidence. It makes the other woman confident. Just sit there, just your head, and she would go on. She would pick it up. You would notice some speakers might jitter, go off the point, but because you are attentive, accelerate that action as an MC.
Thank you. Please put your hands together for her. Thank you. I really want to try to close at 3, but I don't. The competition is my challenge. Let me welcome our team, our beautiful team from BTO. Please put your hands for them.
Good afternoon, everyone. To start by appreciating Mr. Benjamin for to be in the midst of these beautiful faces today. Okay, by name Jibril Fatima. I'm Jibril Fatima from BTO Electronics Appliances. In case you wonder what BTO is borrow to own. Yes. It's an electronic company that you can buy and pay on installment. It's a payment plan company. We have been into this business for over 5 years now, and a lot of people, a lot of organizations have benefited from us. It's located, our address is located at Wuye, Boyle Place. I don't know if any of us know Boyle Place. Boyle Place with that of Wuye Police Station. Okay, our service, what we do is, it's a payment plan company, as I said earlier. The payment plan is, you carry or you get any kind of electronics and appliances that you want and pay on installments. You just pay 35% of the items and we deliver it to you. The remaining 65 will be spread over 5 months, where you get to pay on installments. Yes, though we are not just limited to that, you can buy outright from us and also pre-purchase. Pre-purchase is a situation whereby you have some money but you don't even need the item at that moment. You pay 55%, then the item will be with us. When you are ready to pay the balance, you make the payment.